It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margee McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I'm Margee McGee, and with me, as always, is my amazing friend and co-host.
Hi, everyone. I am Ramona Ramirez, and good morning, Margee, or good afternoon, or good whatever time you happen to be tuning into this. Oh, God, it's already starting. I'm sorry, everyone.
We're gonna talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County again. And I mean, the intersection of reality TV and therapy was just in every scene. It was in every mansion, every pumpkin patch, every outdoor workout session, like the whole way through. I was like, oh my God, the show delivers. I mean, these are hard to like human beings, but in terms of like evaluating the mental health game, they're giving us everything.
Truly, truly. It's a hotbed of, as my father used to say, a hotbed of mental health. I don't know what that means really, but I guess he was trying his best with that one. Yeah, I think this season is really, I think it's very satisfying season of OC.
And yeah, I felt like completely irritated, annoyed, and exhausted by the end of this episode. And I was like, all right. I'm
Me
like,
too.
that's what I tune in for. Like, they got me. They did it all.
Oh my God, Margee, I said the same thing to Josh. I was like, oh, I'm so glad this episode's over.
Yeah.
Not because I didn't want to watch it, just because it was so activating. Anyway.
It was so dense with like, anyways, we don't have to talk in a general way. We can dive in with Heather and Terry and their fucking,
yes.
Why are we starting with this? Just to really piss me off from jump. And my least favorite people from $1 Million Listing, Josh Altman and his wife, Heather, entering that fucking sterile ass marble wall of Veuve bottles, weirdly spaced out. It looks like it looks like a Bruce Wayne, like if Bruce Wayne got like old and weird, like that's what he might do with his money.
Like new Bruce Wayne, because I don't even think I've seen one Batman movie the entire franchise.
I probably shouldn't have said Bruce Wayne because I've seen some movies, but I don't remember much except that a lot of his house appeared to be dark and underground-ish.
Oh, 100%.
And that he was rich.
Yeah, lair, full-on lair.
Yeah, that was the vibe I got, like a sad champagne lair, you know.
I was pissed off because they are shooting this scene in yet another office. It's not her podcast office where she hangs all of her posters and her self-portrait. It is another fucking office in their mall of a house. It's like, okay, whatever. Whatever, Heather.
I mean, the amount of space these people occupy, like they're this huge estate that they're selling. They just bought a $14 million penthouse. And then in this scene, they're like, and now we have to lease another house because we have to be out of this mansion in 3 weeks. So we need a new mansion. I'm like, you guys are just like, it's conspicuous consumption at its worst.
100%. 100%. Oh my God. Maybe the new owners will let us stay here. It's big enough, or whatever the fuck
off.
she said.
You're not funny, and just fuck right off.
Do you know how how Terry Dubrow has his money?
No.
Since before he was a surgeon?
No.
His brother was a founding member of Quiet Riot.
I did know that.
And
then
when he passed away, he inherited all the Quiet Riot money.
Oh, God damn it, Ramona. Now my heart hurts.
Listen.
His brother died. That's sad.
I know his brother died. I understand.
But he can still choose to be a good person.
Right.
That option remains available.
He inherited the Quiet Riot fortune.
That's fucking how undeserved. How could such an uncool guy get such cool money? Annoying.
And then, of course, he rides I think he's mentioned it once or twice. I can't remember how I know that. Yeah, it's just, it's the house, the Quiet Riot, and then Botched made.
Mm-hmm. I mean, different types of artistry, but
100.
Yeah, I just, I forgot about that opening scene in their office. I was right into the scene where Josh and Heather Altman arrive to tell them they have a cellar And then my favorite part of that scene was when the producer goes, 1 minute, guys. And then immediately Heather and Terry drop out of their bullshit. It was like shocking and
Completely.
upsetting. It's literally like
Completely.
what it felt like as a kid when we would like go to parties as a family and then get in the car and it's over. Like the
Totally.
performance is done. Terry like just slumps down in his chair and Heather's immediately on her phone. And it was just so dark and it
It
was
was
such an exposing moment.
it was I can't imagine, like, unless I was on a legitimate set where I'm acting, and hey, maybe that's how this maybe we're the naive ones for not getting on fucking board, that's what this is. It sure has the name reality TV in the genre, but maybe at this point it has morphed into, you know, what do they call it? Scripted reality? I'm not firing
Scripted.
on all cylinders yet, but it's like, yeah,
Well, and
it was
that's
so wild. It was
it's
so
fine if it's
wild.
scripted, but I think part of what got under my skin so much throughout this whole episode is that everyone was acting really hard and doing a really bad job.
Oh my
I
god.
when Heather and
Completely.
Terry are having this conversation about, that Josh and Heather are like a young us. Yeah. And Terry goes,
Oh,
that guy makes deals. And then the producer says 1 second and they're both immediately like, ugh. And I was like, ugh, too, because like your performance is exhausting and bad. So I understand why you guys like hate this moment in time. But of course, they're immediately reanimated when the whiff of money, crosses their scent path again. And Josh and Heather enter to say, like, we sold it, they signed.
I just several things, yes, like, the name dropping of these are the Altmans D list, or are they even, like, on the DCBA list, like, spectrum?
For like reality TV stars
I
or
mean, just in general, like, outside, I feel like people know about I don't know, I just can't imagine people outside of the Bravoverse knowing who the fuck Josh Altman and Heather Altman are. I could
I
be wrong.
think in real estate they're a huge deal, but I I
Damn.
I don't like Josh Altman at all because he's a huge proponent of these, all of this new construction of like those shitty ass homes, modern homes that look like prisons from the outside. And there's a Josh Flagg, who's the other Josh on that show, I
Yeah.
adore because he wants to preserve all of the
My
California
god.
architecture. But Altman is all about bigger, more money. Of course, he's selling the Dubrows disgusting personalityless mansion, of course,
Mhm.
because it's
Mhm.
just money. And
Mhm.
the Dubrows exposed themselves for loving the same. I mean, the way they celebrated this sale was like more than I could stomach.
I was highly disgusted that oh my god. Heather's little thing. Okay, when she's talking about she was just so fucking smug throughout this whole scene. I know it's Heather Dubrow. If she's awake and breathing air, she's smug. Like, I understand that. She seemed especially smug in this scene when she's talking about, oh, the buyer wants to waive contingencies. And it's like, and she was pissed about that. I'm all, "What the fuck? It is a 55 million fucking dollar house. Why the fuck would anybody waive contingencies on that? Why? It's less than 10 years old or barely 10 years old or something, and if they're asking them to waive contingencies, it's not like there's a bidding war for the house. It didn't go for
No, they're a responsible
ask.
buyer
I
doing
just,
that. And their real estate agent is smart to enforce that. Like
I
they'd be
mean,
insane to buy a $55 million property. Anyways.
God damn it. And it's like, I don't listen. On the other hand, I don't know. I do know that there are markets here, at least on the West Coast, where you do have to waive contingencies if you want that fucking house. Because if you don't want it, somebody else will, and they'll pay a whole fucking lot of money for it. So I understand the concept of it. I
But
just,
that's in like the $2 to $5 million range where it's competitive. In the
yeah,
$55 million range, there's like a buyer.
dude, dude. Oh my God. And then, so Heather's little in the moment where she, you know, I manifested this. I told Terry on New Year's, we're going to sell our house for 60 million. I was 5 off. And then when Josh Altman says that it's the third highest sale, residential real estate sale in Orange County, I'm like, oh God, look out. So between that fact, I mean, who knows, from what Josh said and from the fact that they purchased Roberto Cavalli's spec penthouse, a spec pent. Those are gonna she's gonna get so much mileage out of those two things. She fucking
It's what she
sucks.
focused on the entire rest of the episode, and
Mhm.
to be quite honest, I just don't care.
I don't
I
care
don't care
either.
what and I yeah. But honestly, it was Terry that really I he
Oh
just
my
I
god.
found him entirely hateable. His confessional saying it's not "fuck you money," it's "fuck everyone you know money," and he said it with this, like, weird, sinister smile, and
Yeah.
then we cut back to the scene, and he's saying, "G6, baby," and
Oh my
doing the
god.
Cabbage Patch. I was like, you're you're everything that's wrong with everyone. You're the
Yep.
worst.
Yep.
And his whole value system is based on money. It's
Yeah.
so fucking disgusting.
It's disgusting. It
Nothing
is.
else lights them on fire. God knows their children don't. They talk about them
Oh,
like
I
they're burdens
know.
or they're invisible. But when you tell him they made the third biggest real estate sale, Terry is up on his feet doing the fucking Cabbage Patch and talking about "fuck everyone you know" money. Can that be your "fuck off forever" money? Like, I don't ever need to see you again. You're
I
disgusting.
He's disgusting. That was disgusting. Oh, and then we see and yeah, their two forgotten children come down to quote unquote celebrate with their parents. So Heather has a wall full of Vouv, but then she's like, I've been saving this Dom. What did she say? Something about the 2010 was better than the 2012 or fuck
The
her.
reverse. I
Yes,
didn't like the
okay.
10. I was like, "I don't care.
Dude, she sucks.
I just don't and I'm not excited for you. I don't wanna celebrate with you.
I don't want
I
to
hate
celebrate with
you."
her. No, hell no. Hell no. Oh
So that's
God.
how the episode started, just like
Yep.
with
Yep.
me on an 11 from Jump. And then I got a little reprieve with this dumb FaceTime montage.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
cares?
Oh, God bless Ernest S. Taylor, dude.
I love her.
I
She's
do
so important to the
too.
show.
I agree.
Yeah.
She just like she's not coming dressed in all the bullshit. She's not she yeah, I really like Taylor. I really I do. I
She's
do. I
yeah.
like her this season, not gonna lie. Anyway,
I
um,
didn't understand this Harley dealership scene. I thought it was I mean, I like Emily's philosophy of I want to
yes,
stop talking about trying to do
yes,
new things and actually do new things. Great.
yep, yep.
But I would have been enough just hearing that philosophy and not spending
I
10 minutes
know.
in this like weird showroom.
I know. With Gina, every single scene she's in a different Harley Davidson jacket. It was really distracting to
It
me.
was yeah.
Yeah. Shannon doesn't like you. Like, no shit, Emily.
I
No
loved her.
fucking shit.
I loved her for just saying it though. I love
God.
her for just like really direct and
Oh,
yeah,
God.
just,
But
yeah, and
yes.
yeah.
Yep.
I appreciated Gina's confessional saying that like Shannon is such a good friend that she'll never let me forget that I got a DUI and that she helped me out of it and that she embellishes the story every time she tells it. And I didn't realize like it has been a couple years now.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
shut up, Shannon. Like
Yeah.
let it die. If that's the only good thing you've done in the last 2 years, you got to like reevaluate how you were living.
Again, it just goes back to what I've said. Don't give or do unless it's with zero expectations and out of the goodness of your fucking heart. If you're
Mhm.
gonna be of service, you do it without strings, you do it without conditions, and I think that Gina, I don't know, maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but I'm pretty sure she was very grateful.
She was to a point, and then when Shannon started bringing it up in every situation,
Yeah, yeah,
social or otherwise, Gina was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Okay."
yeah.
Yeah, and then we go to Shannon's house with, like, the longest ASMR, like like, John just scratching her like a gremlin. It sounded
Oh
like
my
he was
god.
scratching, like, plaque psoriasis off her back. It was so
God
rough.
bless.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I don't know if she has it or not, but, like, the way the sound was picking it up was just so intense, and it went on for so long. It was a
Yeah.
lot of scratching.
4 massive bottles of tequila on the counter. What the fuck?
I I don't know. I just and they both looked, like, puffy and swollen
Oh,
and
yeah,
that, like, hungover I don't know.
yeah,
But then, like, so proud to report that John slept over, but seemed to only be able to manage to do so because they had 4 bottles of tequila.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oof.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yep, yep, yep. Tamara is one of those people when she walks in and yeah, she's the one that says, "Oh, you stayed over." It's like, that is such a shitty that is not a friend thing to do. You say, "Hi, oh my god, good to see you. Good morning. Glad I got to see you this morning," or something, and then you say it to your friend who
I
tells you
mean,
about the yeah, I just
the whole thing was just such an acting exercise of like, "Oh my god, you spent the night? Oh my god, should we call Heather?" And like, it was just so Tamara is just so look at me, and it's really again, it's tiring. And her ugly ass Trader Joe's flowers, come on, man. Those were fucking wrong. That was embarrassing. I just don't bother bringing them if they're like half dead and cheap and ugly.
My
I don't
god.
know. Anyways, but maybe they were lovely. I hate Tamara, so there we
I
have
hate
it.
Tamara. I can't stand her this season. I can't I just when's it gonna come for her? Where I mean, I guess she did have some sort of repercussions for her actions if she had to take a pause. But I don't know. I feel like she and Heather are really showing their whole ass this whole season so far, and we're not blind, you know? I know there's a big contingency? No. A big group. Is that it? A big
Mhm.
contingency? Jesus
Mhm.
Christ. I know that there's a large population of the people that watch this show, and they're really glad that Heather and Tamara are back to stir up drama. And listen, I understand that intellectually, but I feel like, with the exception of Jen Shaw, you can have a show with a cast like Salt Lake City, and people can bring drama without being complete shitbags. I'm sure if I, like, broke that down for about 20 minutes, I'd probably, like, not agree with that either, but, anyway, I don't need to go off on a tangent, but I just think that okay, here's what I wanna say. Here's where I'm getting at. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I was being a little evil wizard behind the scenes or in the scenes like Tamara is. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I would be up at night. Well, we'll get to that. I wrote something about when Shannon says that she can't sleep at night. I'm all, "Oh, yeah, I know that feeling." Anyway.
I mean, I came to that same realization in this episode. I was like, "Oh, some people are fine being the villain. Some people aren't bothered by being terrible, acting terribly, and having people hate them, either within the cast or like the public at large." So I guess, yeah, that's who Tamara is. But it's just both Tamara and Heather are just, it's so forced. It's so fucking ham fisted. And I'm just sick of them both. They're just, like, too much.
Yeah. I don't need to see either one of them back. Maybe Orange County needs a quasi reboot too, except for maybe Emily stays. I mean, what
I
the
mean,
fuck?
someone was talking about it since this New York reboot has been so successful or at least well
Mhm.
received,
Mhm.
that somebody, I can't even remember, I listened to so many podcasts, but some brilliant person was like, "This would be a good time to just, like, erase and wipe out OC and start again with,
100%.
like, younger people, a more diverse group of people, and, like, I'd take another look at what's going on in the OC through some new people's eyes because
Hell
this is
yes.
getting Shannon is just depressing. Tamara is too much. Heather's a fucking unwatchable bitch, and her husband is the same. Like, it's just getting too, like, you know, it just feels like confrontational
Yep.
instead of like enjoyable.
Yep. Yep. It's Shannon's talking about her relationship with John Janssen, and she says he wants to leave all the time. Tamara says he's a runner, and then Shannon says he's an avoider and that she's a communicator. And I was all, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am, ma'am, you are definitely some things. Communicator is absolutely not one of them. You are passive aggressive, you're a victim. Communicator, you communicate your passive aggressiveness and
Well,
your
and also you're
victimhood."
so drunk, you don't
Right.
communicate the truth anymore. You
Yep.
you say
Yep. Yep.
things, but like you don't
Mhm.
remember if they're true or not, and you lay your life down on a lie that's, has evidence to the contrary on tape. It was, yeah. And this piece of information that they've never gone on a trip, just the two of them, in 3 years? Are you fucking
Yeah.
kidding me? Like, that's what you do in the honeymoon phase. You get away every
Yeah.
weekend and like, just like sweat the sheets for 3 months
Right.
alone. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. That you're right.
That's
I
weird.
mean, I wonder if it's because at the time when they first got together, her kids were still in high school, but if they were with David part of the time or
My mom I was in high school when my mom started dating, and she was away on weekends, you know?
Mhm.
Occasionally, I'd get dragged along, but, like, like, it's just a weird to spend no alone time together is, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't
he
know
doesn't
what that
like
says
her.
about either of them,
He doesn't like
but
her, and
I don't know if she likes him, if she's not insisting on it, like, I don't know what's going on. It
I
just
mean,
is two drunks
back
just
in
sticking
the
it out.
back in the day, the allure of staying with someone for their potential. Of and you, like, look back to the potential, like, when you meet them in the first 2 weeks, and they either love bomb you or future, promise you or whatever, like, that's what kept me going back even when things were just utterly awful, and I should have bailed, but at the time, my self-esteem wouldn't have it wasn't, as robust as it is now.
Well, and it's a different time. Like, when you're young,
Yes,
you're
thank
kind of
you.
all you can do is
Yep,
look at potential because you
yep,
haven't done anything yet. If you're 22, you can't be like, "And this is who you are forever, and I approve. Here we go." You
yeah.
can't but when you're, like, 60, like, it just feels like you either are more discerning in a way that is supportive of your own self-worth, or you make the choice to have a partner so you're not alone
Mhm,
and they suck. Like
mhm.
that, and it seems if Shannon would just acknowledge that he sucks and that like a 9-hour back scratch does not redeem John Janssen for anyone. I don't know.
Especially when she's saying, "Okay, okay," and he's like it turns from, like, a nice gesture to I felt like he was doing it, like, to bug her.
Yeah.
It
He's pissed at her and like neither one of them are communicators, so he's just gonna scratch her back too hard and too much,
Oh my
and
god.
it was very and it wasn't like a sweet back scratch, it was like like a rat clawing at
Yeah.
like like a rooftop. It was so bizarre.
I guess he avoids spending time with Shannon, so yeah, he is he's an avoider, all right. He's not a runner, he's an avoider. I did take a little bit of an issue with Tamra saying it's a red flag that they haven't discussed marriage after 3 years, like, that is so fucking archaic, patriarchal, old-fashioned bullshit. Enough said, you know what I'm saying. It was
Yeah,
just
like
so stupid.
unless Shannon is, like, super religious and, like, needs to be her couple to be
Mhm.
blessed in the eyes of God for it to be
Yeah.
worth something. But if the again, at a certain stage of life, that philosophy makes some sense, but at this stage of life, it's like they have kids who are, like, going to college, like, they have bigger things to do than to worry about, like, a wedding. I don't know.
Completely, completely. I yeah, and yes, it's so, like yeah, it's so old-fashioned and patriarchal and gross. Like, fuck off, Tamara, god damn it. I mean, I also felt like Shannon started this relationship pretty quickly after David. Would have liked to have seen her take some time to recover and process and grieve, and it felt like she was just trying to fill the hole, avoid the grief, move on. I mean, who knows how much of her relationship with David may have already she may have already been starting to grieve the end of it after the fact, but or, like, while she was still married to him, and they were still living together, but I yeah, it was
Yeah, I mean, I
anyway.
think it was reactive probably, but again, it's like I don't even blame her for that because remember David moved on with like a 20-year-old and they
Yeah.
were like engaged and posting naked pictures like that must have I can't imagine what the fuck that was like for Shannon.
Yeah, you're right,
So
you're
I
right.
get it. Like it's again alcohol, relationships, shopping, whatever, all of these things can be survival tools in a moment of trauma. But like 3 years in, take a look. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think this is the
Dude.
guy. He served his purpose and bless him for that. But like, is he worth fighting for? That scratching sound is going to be in my head for like the rest of my life.
Oh my god, you
That's
just made my neck
anytime
itch.
someone
Yeah.
says John Jansen, like that's all I can hear in my head
Oh,
is
no. He's just
terrible.
so ugly. He's just not attractive. There's nothing about him that is compelling.
Well, and he just seems closed off, shut down, and like kind of mean. Like there's nothing warm about him. He's not a hearth. He's like a fucking spiky ass old grump, as far as I can tell. I don't know him, but
I mean, listen, a gathering of 2 or more people who are bothered by somebody's drinking is an Al-Anon meeting
so here
technically.
we are.
Here we are, everyone. You're listening to our audio Al-Anon meeting right now. Oh, lol.
Oh.
Anyway, so Shannon is just deluding herself in front of our eyes by
Well,
not
and doing
just
that thing where she's like, "We talked about it, and John Janssen isn't happy, but we're fine." And it's like, "Are you? Because I think the last 3 episodes you were screaming at production, 'If this gets out, my relationship's over.'" Like, really? You're just fine? I don't think so. I think something is, like, really wrong.
yeah.
And yeah, you don't seem fine. You don't look relaxed. You don't look
She
happy. Nothing about
yeah.
you. I don't want anything you have. So if that's what fine is
Nothing.
for
I don't
you, keep it.
nothing. I don't want her tincture. I don't want her leggings. I don't want her fucking, cream cheese filled salmon. I do not want any of her confessional outfits, and I don't want her Spanx.
Hold on. I
Yes.
loved the yellow outfit. You didn't like that?
Wait, I can't remember the yellow
It's
outfit.
later. It comes up later, but she's wearing this like architectural bright yellow dress that has like, built out shoulders, and her hair is in an updo with like one sleek
Oh, yes.
piece. I
Yes.
was like, "Oh my god, she's never looked better." I think that was, she's on the other side of her Ozempic journey in that look, and she's fucking
Got it.
rocking it. She looks
Yeah.
fucking great. But
Fair,
yes,
fair.
the Muppet hand blazer is like I don't need that.
Yeah. Yeah. Her commitment to Lincoln Park After Dark, though, after all these years is pretty
Oh, you
impressive.
mean nail polish?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god, what a flashback. Wow. Was that OPI, or was
Yes.
that yeah,
Yes. Yes.
classic.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Anyway, but it's always there. Oh, then we move to Ryan and Jen and his attempts at toxic positivity as they talk about their relationship and their future plans in a shower, in a
But
bathroom.
first, they have their little workout scene, which I hated,
Oh
but
my God, you're right.
I
Yes,
don't know if
yes,
you caught that the cutest puppy I've ever seen in my life. He was
yes.
just like made of down, and then he went there. The mama dog, I guess, was sitting on the side of the pool, and the puppy just went over and like was pushing his nose against the mama dog. Like, I couldn't watch the rest of the scene because I hate Jen and Ryan too. But that puppy was so, give that puppy an orange. Like, I want to see that
Mm,
puppy. And
I
also, what
know.
is Jen doing with just like piles of puppies and kittens in her house? What is
I
fucking going on over
I don't
there?
know. I mean, she clearly has like a real strong mothering, nurturing kind of a vein running through her body. Like these, I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot. It's a menagerie.
And at a certain point, can you take care of all of them? Like, can
I
you give
don't
them all attention when you have 35
know.
kids and 800 animals? Like,
I don't know.
and Ryan, who's a
Ew,
fucking whatever. Yeah, no. And he
ew.
talks about, he's just the worst. Everything he says is general. Nothing is specific to Jen. He says she's fire. She's a 12 out of 10. She's the total package. It's just vague love bombing, like you said. It's just
Completely.
vague. It means nothing.
Oh
It's
my
what do you like
God.
about Jen the person? Her boobs, I guess we find out later.
I mean, there's a lot of boobs that look like that in Orange County. There's a lot of boobs
Yeah,
that look
he's
like
seen
that.
them all.
You're right.
They've all been like riding on top of him within the last
Ew.
14 hours of the
Ew.
shoot.
Ew. With his
I
bug
know.
eyes. Barf. 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 So yeah, she's asking him like, how can we be taught? He brings up, when are we going to get married? And I am sure he did it for the camera. He's trying to like, his image is irredeemable. He can't do it. So he's just making himself look shittier and shittier every time he tries. And she's like, what the fuck? How are we going to do this given your history? And then he says, well, I choose to be happy. Like that is such a manipulative, dishonest, again, manipulative way of he's manipulating her and rewriting history
Well,
and
and
lying.
he knows that she doesn't want to get married to him right now. So
Mhm.
it's a real easy time for him to say, "When are we getting married? Let me go ring shopping," because he knows he'll never have to put it on her fucking finger.
Oh god. You're
You know,
right.
the
You're right.
Armenian gigolo lives.
Wow. That scene. Wow. Wow.
That was the
Yeah.
most honest I've ever seen Ryan, though. He
Mhm.
seemed like relaxed and himself with his dumb backwards baseball cap looking at huge diamonds. I was like, this seems like the most true to yourself you've ever been. When he's
Yeah,
with Jen, he just seems like an affirmations calendar, he's just
totally.
talking bullshit.
Totally. She is not available for marriage. Her divorce isn't final yet. He can't. He can ask her to marry him, a la Big Papa in fucking Atlanta's Inception. Inception?
Mhm.
Okay. Margie, what has happened to my brain?
Ramona for everybody. Ramona's on like 90 minutes of sleep, maybe. So you're nailing all of your vocabulary. You're just second guessing it.
Oh
That's your
God.
fatigue.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Like she is completely unavailable, and you're right. That is what is giving him the safety to just let it rip.
And
Fuck.
to punish her when she very honestly says, like, I am concerned because someone came between us, and he gets like defensive and combative and shaming. And he's like, that's not an accurate statement. And I love Jen for just like planting herself in the truth and saying, like, yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. He's like, well, when we didn't know if we were ever going to get together. And it's like, no, you didn't know if you were going to stay together, Ryan.
Exactly. Exactly.
Jen was all in and you knew it. And then he
I
did this thing that I fucking hate when she says, but there was somebody that got between us. And he goes, well, you can choose to stay in the present moment or you can let your mind go. And I was just like, oh, fuck you. Subtext is, you're crazy.
Yep.
And that's not fair.
Yep.
She's actually telling the truth. And don't pull that like,
Facebook meme kind of toxic
yes,
positivity bullshit. Yep.
yes.
Yep.
And
Yep.
choose to stay in the present doesn't mean you forget everything that happened in the past.
Nope.
In fact, it means you're dealing with the present moment, which is informed by the fact that Ryan told her to take a break so he could fuck someone else. Like, that's what's at stake in the present. I hate him.
I do too. I find him highly disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just backs out of the whole argument by saying, she says, forever's a long time, Ryan. He's like, yeah, with your boobs.
Oh my
So
God.
nothing's resolved. We're back to one. But I did love the camera catching his look after Jen like sort of giggled at the boobs comment and left. The camera sort of catches his look where he's sort of like panicked and like just rattled and caught,
Oh, he's so slimy. He
He's a
just
turd.
is disgusting. Yes, yes. Oh, poor
Well,
Tamara and Eddie still decked out head to toe in cut fitness workout gear. And maybe we should be celebrating this. Maybe she's repurposing her cut. At least she didn't like throw everything out and just buy all new Lululemon,
it's
you know?
upcycling in its own way,
Yeah,
but then
exactly.
they take
But
it to the most Orange County gym possible called SHREDZ with a Z. SHREDZ.
oh my God, I didn't
I
even notice that.
died. Oh my God. It's called SHREDZ with a Z and it's in like cartoon bubble letters like from the 80s.
No.
It was so I can't even believe this shit is real. Like again, like these Orange County businesses, like Olivia's Closet or whatever. Like it's just SHREDZ is the gym. Of course it is. That's a cartoon name for a gym. So great. SHREDZ with a goddamn Z. I'm dead.
Shreds.
With a Z.
Oh God. Oh God. Did I appreciate like her talking to Eddie on camera about the paparazzi pictures of the Dubrows at Disneyland? Do you remember when those came out in real time?
You had sent them to me. So
Oh,
yes, I
okay.
do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I did love the side by side they did of the Sears catalog photo and the
Totally.
Dubrows photo. I was like, okay,
Oh my
editors,
God.
a
I just
toast to you.
the first thing I thought of when I saw those pictures, because I can't remember if they were how long ago were they? It is always so fucking hot at Disneyland unless you're like literally there between like November and February or something. And for Heather decked out in her like
Gucci tracksuit.
yeah,
Like,
just
yeah.
fuck off. Yeah. And it's yeah.
And Tamara's totally right. There are no paparazzi at Disneyland. Like
Mm-mm.
that is, and it is a fully staged picture. It's like beautifully composed. It's an absurd thing. And I love that. I hate Tamara, but I love that she said, Heather is not an A-list celebrity. No one gives a fuck if Heather Dubrow is at Disneyland. So like, yeah,
Right.
this was paid for and staged and stupid.
100%. 100%. And we can all, and now we have it on proof or on proof. Now we have it on camera. We have it on camera at the beginning of this scene. You know what? We should mark this. Like we should pin this. We have it on the beginning when cameras go down when the Altmans, like, leave and cameras go down and they immediately drop the, like, lovey-dovey, ha ha ha, witty repartee for the Dubrows, stuff. It's like we see it. We see it. They take performing for the camera to, like, a whole new level. I mean,
I
there's
mean,
yeah.
the
So
next scene is like that, like, the next scene, this Heather and Shannon
oh,
luncheon.
Jesus H.
I
Christ.
mean, Heather did a full acting exercise, like, working out the availability of her range of emotions for casting directors. It was just such bullshit. She's such bullshit.
She
And
really
I don't
is.
like Shannon either. So, again,
No,
this lunch, I was just agitated because I'm like, "You're both awful."
both awful,
Heather's
awful.
a controlling psycho coming in to, like, set the scene and be like, "My goal is to make progress in this friendship." It was like, "Oh, you're gonna sit down to lunch with, like, and announce a goal? Okay."
Yeah,
So
she's
fucking weird.
I oh, and I got really triggered. I wrote down, "These women don't say please. These women don't say please." And I really fucking hate that. I pr
Yeah,
but the comment, like, "Are you gonna put this lunch in your IMDb?" That was fucking amazing.
that was exquisite.
It
Shannon
was.
won the scene with that
100%,
one.
100%. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about that one?
I mean, just that, like, this was I can't stand either of these women, but Heather was right to say that Tamra is the one putting Shannon on
Absolutely.
blast on camera. That's true. And Shannon was right to say to put this lunch on your IMDb because Heather was going hard. But the tears were so ridiculous. The looking off to the side and just letting them well just enough. It's like, it's beautiful soap opera acting, but like, what a joke for a lunch with Shannon. Fuck off.
If you can't cry like Candace Dillard, I'm not interested.
Oh my God.
If you can't
Yeah.
cry and dab like Candace Dillard,
She tried the dab, Heather did, but it
yeah.
was just like, "No, you did it too
Yep.
soon." The tears
Mhm.
weren't actually welling
Mhm.
out, they were still
Mhm.
just up, and you fucked it up. You suck.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Oh boy. Now
Christ.
Heather gets dressed as an Amish woman.
Oh my
Emily
god.
gets glam with her dogs.
The fact that she was like, "Oh, do I don't wanna look like I'm, from Pennsylvania." I'm all, "Ooh, that's not gonna go
She
over well," and she's just so
I love the editors for leaving all of the shit in.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
just like, you are such a bitch. And then this was another acting scene for Tamra pretending to be surprised that Teddi, her podcast partner, is accidentally putting out today the podcast where Teddi talks about how Heather's paparazzi pics at Disneyland were staged. And I mean, Tamara obviously staged this phone call, staged every word she said. It was just like, I get annoyed. I'm just like, I'm not an idiot. Just like,
Right.
do this truthfully, instead of trying to be like, hello, Teddy. What a surprise to hear from you. What a surprise to learn that you talked about Heather Dubrow on the podcast when I wasn't there. What a surprise to hear that it's dropping today. It's just like, all of this. You're a more interesting villain if you like actually lean in.
Like she didn't know the fucking plan for the podcast that she
She
co-hosts with
planned
someone.
it.
God damn
Yeah.
it.
And
She's so
Tamara, she just
stupid.
did too much because she was like, Teddy was like, how I recorded the podcast without you today? And Tamara goes like, yeah, because it's my only day off and I couldn't make it today. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today, but today's my only day off, so I couldn't be on the podcast today. What did you talk about on the podcast today when I wasn't doing the podcast today? Because it was my only day off today. Sorry. It was like, okay. Oh my God. Just like, people don't talk like that. You would say,
Oh,
yeah. Like,
shit.
it's just insane.
Yeah, yeah. And that conversation's happening in a suburban on the way to Taylor's pumpkin party.
Poor
Um,
Jen just sitting in the passenger seat,
oh
just ignored,
God.
and
Oh
yeah.
God. Yeah. Oh shit. Teddy. Stop trying to make Teddy happen.
She was boring on the phone. I was like,
She's
"Wrap it up." You're
I I don't know if it's known outside of Reddit. Yeah, no, I think that the Watch What Crappens guys talk about it, that they every like Teddy is referred to as John Cougar Mellencamp's son-in-law's wife instead of just Teddy Mellencamp.
I didn't know that, but
Yeah,
that is it.
it's
That is it.
hilarious. Or John Mellencamp's daughter. Like just anything to like not say her name because she's sorry,
It's just
Teddy.
the definition of a dud.
She's hella dud.
It's just everyone keeps trying to, like, pull the pin on that grenade, and it will never go off. It's
Yep.
just like, "Durr." It just,
Mm.
like, rolls slowly away. I
She
can't stand her.
sucks, dude. Let's not forget her, like, pay to get anorexia
Oh, right.
all
That.
in accountability plan. Fuck
Right. Let me
off.
call and abuse you when you, like,
Exactly.
eat something. Dick.
Anyway.
Pumpkin party.
Mm,
I
yeah.
love Taylor so
I
much.
do too.
I love Joni the party planner.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Taylor's outfit. It was, like, insane. This, like, chambray shirt and, like, a vest. I don't know. She really went all in on her pumpkin patch vibe, and I love her for it. It seems very earnest. It's not a
I
costume. It's, like,
yeah.
sweet.
I hate Halloween and I hate carving pumpkins and the pressure at Halloween is so it makes me really stressed out. It really does.
I love kid Halloween. I
Mhm.
loathe adult Halloween.
I loathe it.
You're right. Your costume has to either be the sexiest or the most clever, and it's a for what? To go, like, get drunk and sweaty? Like, I don't know. The whole I just yeah, I don't like it. It's a big, long performance. Meanwhile, I love Day of the Dead. Like, I love that
Yeah.
ritual and that practice and All
Yeah.
Souls Day
Yeah.
on the 1st of November, but Halloween for the sake of, like, Halloween is just no, I'm not into it.
I thought that Shannon's little opinion about Halloween, they're like, "I'm not gonna celebrate death. I'm not gonna celebrate cemeteries and nah." I'm like, "Oh god, just shut up again with your old-fashioned weird like, what the fuck? Is this fucking the Scarlet Letter, for Christ's sake? Are we in the Crucible? Like,
I wrote down, like, is she a Jehovah's Witness? Like, what is her sudden
I
objection
don't
to
know.
Halloween? And also, this isn't a Halloween death graveyard celebration. You're
No.
going to a farm to put a hole in the butt of a pumpkin. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? It's just, again, doing too much about nothing. Very
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah, but I mean, I did appreciate learning that about the pumpkin butt. I did not realize that
I
that's
didn't
gonna
know that either.
yeah, but it makes so much sense. So,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
took notes. I was like, I go to a pumpkin carving party with kids every year, and I'm gonna
Oh.
try that this year. And my pumpkin is always terrible. I'm like the Heather Dubrow of pumpkin carving. It's just like I have a vision, and then it just winds up being a square in the
Oh,
middle of a pumpkin.
god.
I don't have that. I don't have an eye for jack-o'-lantern work.
Jack-o'-lantern work. Fuck, man. That's okay. I think that's I'm yeah. I don't need to have that skill.
We all have other skills.
God, I'm always afraid I'm gonna end up in the hospital. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to I don't know. And then you have to buy, like, a special pumpkin knife. It's
Every
just
year, and why do I have to buy it every year? I can never fucking find it. Every year, I put it in the same drawer with, like, corkscrews and all this shit, and every year it's gone. I guess the
Oh
ghosts and
god.
spirits come and take it.
Maybe it got buried in a graveyard. Yeah.
Maybe.
You know, Margie, I don't know. I have such a hard time not paying attention, but when they have like the group scenes, I get so distracted by everybody in the group scene that sometimes I just kind of go "Rrr, rrr, rrr," and like it's not that I shut down, but I just can't it's all just a mess and then I just don't know what to do with the mess. I can't sort out the mess.
I
Anyway.
mean, well, great news because it was just repeating information from last week and then repeating information in the
Oh
pumpkin
my
patch, repeating
god.
information at the pumpkin table, repeating information at
Yeah.
the lunch table. I did write down when Heather made her entrance. I wrote, Heather looks like she's in her rehearsal skirt from a community theater production of Grease, where she played an unnamed pink lady but went on vocal rest anyway. I hate her. Her outfit really was. And Emily said it later. You look like you're going to a sock hop. And it's like, yeah, what are you doing?
Oh
You
my
picked the
god.
wrong costume for this event, you
I
dick.
don't what the fuck, dude? Throw on some fucking jeans and a cute boot, maybe. A cute, like, even mid-heel boot or low-heel boot. But that
I
was
know she
just
has a better look than that. Like,
it was
that was a
weird.
real, it was so, yeah, it was just a 50s mistake.
When she was getting dressed for that scene, she was I can't believe I didn't say this earlier. She really had a lot of self-doubt, and I noticed that she was, like, playing she was wearing her hair in a new style on last night's episode, and she kept playing with that side bang.
Hmm.
And I think her worst fear about that outfit was realized when people, like, commented on it, and I was like, "Ha ha."
I loved it. And I just love Emily for
Schadenfreude.
just being no bullshit and just being like,
Mhm.
you look ridiculous. Let's pick a pumpkin.
"You look like
Love
you're
her
wearing
for that.
saddle shoes."
I
Yes.
know.
And then I couldn't unsee it. It did.
Yeah.
So they flash back to the CPS comment
Yeah, this
and
is all just like Emily corners Heather and Taylor, and Gina corners Tamra, and all they do is say, like, "Did Shannon say something about Child Protective Services? Did Shannon?" Then yeah, and then they show us the moment when Shannon said something about Child Protective Services. So yeah,
I I cannot wait to see the reunion during this scene or to
oof,
talk about this scene. This is not okay.
yeah.
CPS is a loaded, loaded thing.
And I truly believe Shannon doesn't remember saying it, and that's the part where Gina later on says she needs to go to rehab, and, like, I hope Shannon's in rehab during the reunion, like Countess Luann. Get some fucking help because you said something really hateful and damaging, and you don't have any recollection. You think you're such a good person that such a thought would never occur to you, let alone say it out loud. You did both. You're a fucking mess.
She's a mess.
She is a mess, and then she enters in just total alcoholic martyrdom, like late and panting. And, she has bruises on her arm from an IV and her feet are swollen and she works too many hours in a day. And, half these people weren't even at my party. Like everything is the matter. Everything is the matter.
Yeah.
Like, just what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is where
Yeah.
she needs Ryan to talk to her and be like, just be in the present moment because you're a crazy victim of a vitamin IV. Fuck off.
And that's what struck me about this scene. And this is what made me think about, especially about 12 step. I'm going to try to keep this succinct and focused. Shannon says the anxiety keeps her up at night, and the stress that people are talking about bullshit keeps her up at night. I think she's going over. What's keeping her up at night is that she's going over what she said or what she doesn't remember saying, and that's what's keeping her up. And part of the 12 steps is that when you look at the actions you did while you were actively indulging in your if you were just active in your disease, whatever it is, your eating disorder, your love addiction, your alcoholism, your spending, your whatever, your porn addiction, it's like when you are examining those and taking responsibility for those, it lifts you. When you have no secrets anymore, you can sleep at night. She has so many secrets and so many loose ends and so many things that she's started that she can't control and manage, and you can't fucking sleep when you're living your life like that.
Well, and she has to spend that time to create the story that she can live with, which is,
Yes.
would never say such a thing. I'll
Yep.
die,
Yep.
I'll lay my life down to say that I never said such a thing.
Yep.
And
Oh
that,
my god.
n- and then just being like giving a shit that anyone didn't come to her party. There's that concept in 12-step rooms. I can't even remember which one, where they say we confuse love with pity. And I feel like that's what Shannon did with this entrance. Is she's like, I need everyone to feel sorry for me because that
Mm.
feels like love. And
Mhm.
it's like,
Mhm.
no, you're
Mhm.
just an ass.
Oh god.
And speaking of ass, Marshall tells everyone to carve a butthole.
Yeah.
Great technique.
I love it. Yeah, that's great. I'll suggest it to whoever ends up carving the pumpkins in our household this year, which is probably not gonna be me. Maybe I will. I don't know. I don't like it. It stresses me out.
Mhm. And then they
Um,
all make their fisting and sex jokes, and I did love Taylor saying to Marshall, poor Marshall, saying, "I didn't promise you they were ladies, I just told you they were women." And I was like,
I
"Oh my god, that encapsulates all Real Housewives ever."
honestly,
Brilliant.
that was brilliant. Yeah, Taylor again, she's a slow burn and she is a silent assassin, and I love every single second of it.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. I wrote down that Shannon is the lady doth protest too much and that Jen is so earnest. Like she
Mhm.
really is just for all of her faults. She seems very earnest. Or
Yeah,
is it naive? Or is it a lethal
both.
combination of both? Yeah.
Sadly, I recognize myself in her in that attitude
100%.
of being constantly surprised by someone who's shown you a
Oh,
hundred times now that they suck and they're not on your side.
yep.
But it takes so long to like it, what's the word, integrate that on a cellular level, because it's like
Absolutely.
I had such a different vision of who you are and who you are to me that you're gonna have to beat me to a fucking pulp before I realize, like, "Oh, this is actually who you are."
Right.
How fucking disappointing.
I mean, that is part of the fiber of an adult child of an alcoholic, I would argue,
Mhm.
because when you're a kid, when you have a parent who is a violent alcoholic, rageaholic, emotionally abusive, you must be the wrong one. You must be worthy of that treatment. The person that you are biologically programmed to trust to take care of you is treating you like that. So they must be right. Because if you don't believe that, then you're utterly alone. You are alone and terrified. And so the child brain rewires itself to see that person who should not be a parent as in the right. And it takes a really long time to shake that off or have your neuro pathways rewired, exactly like what you just said. And it's work, and it is always a shock. It's
Mhm.
always a fucking shock. I'm still
Mhm.
shocked that it takes me a few days to bounce back from when I see my qualifier.
Yeah, the only progress that I mark is the amount of time between being
Yes.
surprised by terrible behavior and going back to my regular life.
Yes.
Before it
Yes.
would be, months,
Yeah.
years ruminating and trying to change it. Now it's like a few hours and I'm like, "Oh man,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
right, right,
Yeah. Oh,
onward."
I did it again. Goddamn. Oh, all right.
And
Yeah.
it's also because they find really new and creative ways of, like, exposing themselves as
Dude,
assholes
it's
that I couldn't
true.
it's stuff I could never anticipate. It's shocking to me every time. I'm like, "Oh my god. I know to expect you to be an asshole, and yet this is a whole new angle you found on it. Cool."
I mean, yeah, I saw my qualifier twice in the last 6 months, and it took other family members pointing out behavior that I'd never seen before in regards to me, and then I when they pointed it out, I looked back and I was all, "Oh my fucking god, that fucking happened, and I didn't even see it." And then it feels like the rug is pulled out. Anyway, it's gnarly. Anyway. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
Shannon has a real, like, the help kind of moment where she looks at Marshall, the pumpkin carving expert, and goes, "Are you gonna roast seeds for us?" And Marshall just goes, "No." And I
Yeah,
loved her for it. She was like, "Fuck off."
there's no pizza oven on the premises,
And
ma'am.
she's a carving expert. She's not like I don't what a Shannon is just she is so out of her goddamn mind. She's just awful. She's
Awful.
so
She's
awful.
an awful person.
I hope she watches this
She's
back and
very
gets, like,
sick.
a reality check because it's
Mhm.
every second she's on screen, she's doing something terrible and or destructive, just awful.
Awful. Is it Gina that makes the comment that, the only thing more desperate are Shannon's Spanx?
Mhm.
That was really fucking mean, dude. That was
That
really
was
fucking mean.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was a low, there's there's fighting or not liking someone, and then there's, like, Trump level, Trump depths of cruelty, just abject cruelty, and that's just
Yeah.
cruel, you
It
know?
just it makes it impossible to be on anyone's side because
Yes,
Gina's
yes,
in the
yes.
right, but then she makes a fat joke, and I'm just like, "You know what?
Yeah,
I hate you too. Fuck
yeah,
you."
yeah, you don't have to, that has nothing to do with anything, and it's low-hanging fruit, it's lazy, and it's archaic and stupid and also, like, fucking and misogynistic, like, just burn a fucking mental calorie and come up with something a little bit more clever.
Yeah, it's not cute and funny, it's just shitty.
Yeah.
And, like, Gina had some weight struggles after like, during her initial divorce from her ex. So,
Mhm.
like, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
have a little fucking empathy, dick.
God damn it.
Anyways, this is the moment where Tamra tells Shannon that Jen told her that Shannon said Gina's kids could have gone to CPS if it weren't for Shannon. And this is where Shannon denies it and seems to truly believe she didn't say it and says, "I would never say that." Just like righteously, enthusiastically saying that she didn't say that.
Mhm. I mean, we all saw it, ma'am. Roll
And they
tape.
showed it to us in this
Yeah,
moment. They cut right to it where she said exactly that. She even said child protective
100%.
services. She didn't say CPS where she could be like, "Oh no, I said CBS, the TV." It's like, "No,
Exactly.
you said this." And I loved Shannon going like, "I would never say that. My friends were there." And Jen goes, "I was there." Like
Yeah.
Shannon is just out of her fucking mind.
She really
She's
is.
making no
She
sense.
really is. Oh, God.
And in her martyrdom, I said I'm not allowed to talk about anything good that I did for Gina, you know?
Oh.
Fuck off.
Oh, her poor kids.
Oh my God. I know. They
I
have
just put my head down. I'm like, "Oh,
I
God."
know. And I just thought their only other parent is David Bedore. It's like,
Oh,
oh
God.
no.
Oh,
It's just
God. I'm sorry to
a
those
losing
kids.
proposition. I
Poor
know.
things. Jesus Christ. Oh, jeez. Oh.
Yeah. And then
Oh.
Shannon just won't let it go. There because I think Emily's saying like it's a bench warrant. They wouldn't show up at her house to arrest her. And Shannon's like, they were gonna arrest you. And everyone is like, no, they're not. They're absolutely not. Like Shannon just cannot connect to the truth, even when it's like literally in her face.
Mhm.
She's just
Mhm.
made up her own story that Gina was gonna get Jen shod for a DUI. Like, absolutely not. It's just fucking
Oh
crazy.
my god. Oh my god. Right, right.
And then Shannon experiences stomach pain or whatever, her anxiety pain. So now all of a sudden, after her IV bruises, her swollen feet, now all of a sudden she's also having a new medical emergency at this lunch. I mean, she's just fucking invoking anxiety to evade accountability, you know?
Totally.
And
Totally.
that makes me mad. Like, as we have a mental health bent on this podcast, like, fuck you for abusing like anxiety. you
Exactly.
you don't just get to like it diminishes for people who really do suffer from it and it really does interfere with their life. To have Shannon Bedore suddenly go like, it's my anxiety. It's like, that's not
It's the web you
fair.
wove, bitch.
Yes.
It's the web you wove. You wove it, you live in it, unweave it, and go back to web school where they hopefully teach you some self-esteem and some honesty and learning how to sit with your discomfort and uh, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. And
Weave a
she's
new
just off
web.
the rails because she says, I just did to Gina what Heather did to me. I just put it out there. And then everyone thinks like, oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. And it's like, people put out there that your boyfriend is probably a dickhead and you're putting out there that Gina, as she said, is like an unfit parent and her children are going to be like, it's really different. And if you're not capable of making that distinction, then again, your brain is pickled with
Yeah.
818 tequila
Oh my
and you
God.
need help.
818 tequila as I live and breathe.
I
Oh,
know.
Lord, save me.
Ay, ay,
Please.
ay.
Please.
And Shannon, again, you mentioned Trump. Shannon had a full Trump line where she goes, people come to me all the time and I don't talk about Travis. I'm like, oh, really? People flock to you to ask about Travis? Bullshit. Nobody talks to you and nobody talks about Travis. Sorry, Travis, but like again, you're a delicious dud. You are so delightfully boring and I love you for that. No one's going to Shannon to gossip about Travis. Not his dick size, not anything else. You
God, I
dumbass.
don't think I would talk to Shannon if I ran into her somewhere and like she seemed approachable and I don't even want a selfie with Shannon Bedore. I don't want a selfie with I want a selfie with Emily and
Yeah,
Taylor. But the rest
Taylor's
of them,
great.
no.
Taylor's great.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh god.
Anyway, where is the part where Taylor catches Heather and Tamra talking shit about the decor, which I thought was very charming?
That's the next thing. Tamara stabs the knife with the table, which was like again, one of those like do less Tamara moments for the love of God. And then we have this brief moment of like reconciliation where Gina says, I just want it to stop. And Shannon says, perfect, I'll do the same. And it's like ice cold. And then they go to the lunch table. And that's where Tamara and Heather mean girl out. And they're like, hey, this stupid table. And God bless Taylor for just like side-eyeing the fuck out of them and not saying a word. It's just not worth it. Fuck you, assholes.
She knows that she's dealing with people that can't she isn't gonna go to hardware store for milk right now, and
Yeah,
yeah,
and sorry she didn't, like, get shoveling shit is fabulous engraved on a pumpkin, a gold
oh my
pumpkin for each of them or
god.
whatever, but, like, I don't know. It's why remember when Heather was like, "I just wanted Gina to invite me to her event or whatever," and it's like, this is why people don't. It's on
Yes.
camera because you're
Yes.
a piece of shit, and
Yes.
then you find someone else at the party to drag into your piece of shitdom, and it taints the whole party. Taint, I'm
Completely.
6.
No, that's like the OG word of that's like the OG meaning of taint.
Yeah. I mean, it does. The party becomes a taint. It's just like, it's, it's just something between an asshole and a ball sack. So,
Totally.
oh,
Taint fun to look at, taint fun
no,
to be
taint
there.
fun to be at.
Taint fun to be taint. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So then Tamra decides to like focus her to shoot her cannons at Heather. Just and listen, I don't it almost even wasn't enjoyable because it was Tamra.
Well, and also we'd already been over it like 10 times in this episode. I was like, can we skip this part of the lunch? Like, we get it. There's no paparazzi at Disneyland. Heather staged the photos. Heather's acting is terrible in this scene. You're suggesting that I staged that? You are suggesting that. And like, it's just okay. Like,
She
you're
never
such an
said, "No, we
ass.
didn't," too.
I
She
know.
never said, "No, we didn't." She
She just
never
gets into her
denied it,
confessional and uses, again, $10 words saying Schadenfreude, bitches. And it's like, oh
and
my
she didn't even
God.
pronounce it right.
Is that right?
I don't know. I mean, no, the way you pronounced it was right, but the way she
Oh,
pronounced it, I don't think was right. And I always
good.
lean into German. I'll be like Schadenfreude, but like, who knows?
I love it,
Just because I
but
love it.
I
I love that word, and I love the fact that that word exists, and I often indulge in it. I'm sorry. What the fuck do you want me to do? There are so many bullshit people in this world,
it's human.
especially right now, that deserve. It's like, listen, when people who deserve bad things have bad things happen to them, yeah, I feel my inner child is like, fuck yeah. Fuck. My older child is like, fuck yeah. My fully formed adult is like, fuck yeah. I need that. I need signs that the universe is righting itself. I need signs that we can count on some sort of fairness, you know? Anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that was like my overriding problem with this episode is from how it opened to the end. It's like watching good things happen for bad people,
Mhm.
watching Terry and Heather get their asking price, watching them like Cabbage Patch about a G6. It's just like, and watching them talk about getting a third home when, again, as the writer's strike wears on and people lose their
Yeah.
homes, these dicks are getting 3 homes and there's a penthouse here that nobody's in.
I
It's like,
haven't seen
it's
any
so annoying.
paparazzi pictures of her on the fucking picket line.
Oh God, no, please. She'll come. It's too hot. She's such an ass. And
Fuck.
then she uses this paparazzi accusation as a reason to like, I'm not going to tell him about the sale of my house. Why would I? I'm
Oh
like,
my
nobody
god, nobody
cares. Do you think
cares.
anyone gives a shit? Like, maybe they do. I guess in the scenes for the upcoming episode, it looked like people had feelings about it, but like, honestly, I don't know that anyone could fixate on that for more than like 10 minutes. Who cares?
But yeah,
You're
telling
rich already. Now you're
no,
more rich. Like,
exactly.
great job.
Exactly, exactly. Oh god, she is so far up. She goes on regular tours to the utmost peak of her asshole. She needs a fucking Sherpa with her because she does it so fucking often, and she just it's like she any excuse to just
I mean, like, I just love the idea. She would hire a Sherpa to get up her own asshole. Like, she really is just, oh, she's a monster. And uh and then they try to get into civil conversation and someone asks Heather about Fireside and it is like the most delicious, just like everyone's mood is like, who I can hardly bear to
I'm
hear you say one sentence
exhausted.
about
I'm
this.
exhausted by
And
this.
then
Yes.
Heather tries to engage the audience by saying, Vea, where cotillion is held? No, cotillion, nobody. No, and I was
I
like, "Oh my
mean,
god, you're the worst person."
I kept expecting Shannon to pipe up at the mention of cotillion because she actually did cotillion, and she made her daughters do it too or something, like,
I
remember?
mean, Shannon looked like she went dead inside.
Oh
She literally
god.
just, like it's like her system unplugged, and then within 4 seconds of this, she's like, "I hate to be rude, but I need to go."
Yeah,
And she was
dude, I
just
hate to be
like
rude and have to go too, Shannon,
seriously, I was
honestly.
I'm with you, Shannon.
Cotillion.
But, I mean,
Oh.
honestly, Heather, no wonder no one wants to be your friend. You don't say anything.
Mm-mm.
There's nothing of interest that you have to say, and there's no entry point for most people to what you have to say. I don't care about Vea where Cotillion was held, for Fireside, which I still haven't heard shit about, and this was shot a year ago. Fuck off. I hate her. I'm
Oh
so
my god.
mad.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, when something happens bad for Heather, I might throw a fucking something bad happened to Heather Dubrow Schadenfreude
no, you don't
party.
want that karma. You don't want that
Okay.
karma.
See, you're the nice
No.
one. Yeah.
I'm not nice. I'm literally just it's protective. It's
Okay.
like,
Oh, that's sweet.
you know, it's like you don't want like a black bear to crawl in your swimming pool and like
All
have a
right.
water birth or something.
All
You
right.
know, you
Oh
don't
my
need
god.
whatever comes next. I don't know. I'm
God.
just that was a very specific and strange place my brain just went to, but you get it.
Oh.
Weirdly, Gina is again our voice of reason at the end of this, and she talks about Shannon saying she's so defensive. It's hard to approach her about anything. If you can say things that are that hurtful and not even remember it, you need to go check yourself into rehab. And I said, yes.
Yep.
And then Gina says, when you get to the I'm sorry step, I'll be waiting. And I wrote, wouldn't that legitimately be lovely
Oh my
if
god.
Shannon actually took accountability for herself, went through the 12 steps, relaxed and enjoyed her beautiful life and her healthy children. And like, wouldn't it be lovely? I would love to see the scene of Shannon coming to Gina and them showing this clip to open it, you know, and Shannon truly in a recovered place saying, like, oh my God, I was out of my mind. I did something really unsavory to you. And, you know, my living amends will be to never do it again. But, you know, I just can't see Shannon ever talking without being hysterical. So I
No.
don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't know. I think that the idea of Shannon going to rehab is I just can't ever see it. I can't see
But
it.
I couldn't see it with Countess Luann
Oh,
either.
you're absolutely right.
And not that it's totally stuck, but it's, you know, recovery is a
It
process.
is a
Relapse is
process.
part of recovery. So, but if she could just start down that road, I mean, honestly, look at Countess Luann. Like, she's, you know, weirdly a cabaret star. And I watched Crappy Lake and she's totally who she is, but she's accessible to human beings and she's kind to people and she cares about people. She's not like either peacocking or defensive. And Shannon is like drilled herself into that hole now.
Oh
She's in
god.
the everything's perfect or fuck you moment. It's just so unpleasant.
It
I
really
was
is.
glad she left that lunch because she was bumming me out.
It was yeah. Ugh, god. Yeah. I don't want what any of these women have. Not even Emily. I don't want a Harley. I don't want a fucking
I don't want a Shane.
I don't want a Shane. He seems funny. Like, would I go to dinner with them and probably be entertained? Yeah. You
I
know?
would just be I think he would tire me out
Yeah.
because he's just constantly, like, making funny jabs, and, like, to live with someone who's, like, always making a funny jab, uh, I would hit a limit with that pretty quick.
I think it shows, when I'm flashing back to when they were at the Harley Davidson scene, and in Emily's In the Moment, the producer says, "Is Shane gonna go in the sidecar?" And she's like, "Well, he's sidecar sized." And I feel like he must have I feel like they can both make jokes about each other. They're secure in their relationship with one another. And he knows he's small. He's not trying to fucking compensate for being shorter than his wife. He clearly is like so in love with and attracted to her. And I like the fact that he can not take it, but like he doesn't give a shit. Like he's not attached. It doesn't mean anything
Mhm.
about his personhood if his wife is like, well, he's sidecar sized, you know? Like it's true. He is
Yeah.
a petite pint-sized sarcastic Mormon who loves Diet Coke.
Does he?
Oh, he always orders Diet Coke whenever they go out because he doesn't drink.
But that's scandalous. That's caffeine. If you're a Mormon, you don't have
I
caffeine.
mean, he and Lisa Barlow are, I guess,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
modern day more.
It's caffeinated
Listen,
Mormons.
I could
All
go
right.
off on Mormonism for about
Well, it's
2,000
coming up
years. So
next
I
week.
can't believe it's coming
Salt
up so
Lake premieres. I
fast.
know.
Oh, God, what are we going to do?
I don't know. We'll see if it's any good. I don't know. I'm glad that Mary Cosby is coming back because she's
Why?
just because she's
Oh, I
insane.
hate her. I
I
hate
mean,
her.
I do too, but in terms of like balancing out that cast with some like attitude
But
instead of, yeah.
if um if Jenny got fired for racism, like, I want Mary Cosby to not come back for her racism. She
Oh
is
God,
so
I'm
fucking
so
racist.
unaware. What does
Sh
she do? Jesus Christ.
when she called Mexicans thugs, and then she
Oh, that's
also
right.
yeah,
That's on
yeah,
camera.
it's on camera. I can't stand this woman, and her church seems real fucking evil. She seems I think that she is dangerous, and her marriage to her former grandfather, I find hard to I it it's hard not to go to, like, a dark true crime, true detective, evil backstory on some sort of Netflix series weirdness. Like, she's there's evil lurking there.
You're right. That church is totally predatory. The
Mhm.
reason she's married to her step grandfather
Ew.
is wasn't that to protect the fortune?
Yeah.
Like it's essentially everything is a business deal, and if that's how you live your life, that's a tricky
I
proposition.
mean, maybe she'll come back and she'll say that she's sorry that she said that stuff, but I can't she does not have an ounce of humility in her.
No. No, you're
Oh,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess we'd had a year without her and I
yeah,
forgot who she is.
I
So,
can't I find her, I find her highly disgusting.
yeah.
Oh, but I'm glad Salt Lake City is coming back. Yeah, so that's the end of the episode, and they leave us with scenes from next week where we get to see, Heather's fireside party at Vea, where they hold cotillion. Everybody cotillion, which is I don't know, how fucking old is cotillion? And doesn't cotillion have some roots in, like
Plantation
yeah,
life, I think
yeah.
so.
God
Yeah.
damn, people.
I mean, I don't know for sure. I shouldn't speak with any authority on that, but I
It
do
sounds
believe it
pretty
was
fucking
a
probable.
upper crust white
Yeah,
person
exactly,
activity
exactly,
from like the
exactly.
early colony days. Yeah. I mean, I do again, I love Emily because in those scenes for next week, she just goes like, "Why don't you put your initials on more stuff, Heather?"
Oh my god, that was
And then Heather
amazing.
looks pissed off. I'm like, "Know yourself, have a little bit of a sense of humor. What you do
Exactly.
is ridiculous. Enjoy it." But instead, Heather looks like gravely offended. And I was like, "Oh my god." But
Oh
it'll make good
god.
TV.
Yes, it'll make good TV. Yes,
If it
yes.
even if it doesn't make a good app, because I've again never heard of it. Never heard of
Never,
it.
never. Oh, so friend, we did something different last week, and I can't remember what you called it.
Just the antidepressant of the
Antidepressant.
week.
Yes, the antidepressant of
Mhm.
the week. Yes, yes, yes. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I can start because
Okay.
I again, before we got on, I, briefly was looking at Instagram and
Ugh.
TikTok, and on TikTok, there's this adorable old dog who I've, like, deeply fallen in love with. Her
Mm,
name is Buttons, Grandma
mm,
Buttons, also goes by Grandma Potato, and she's, like, 15 years old, and she's we're watching her her life is probably coming to its natural conclusion at some point. And
mhm,
so I check every day to see if Grandma Buttons is still with us.
mm.
And she's been having a hard time lately. And then yesterday, I think, there was a new post of Grandma Buttons with this like tiny puppy. So the family got a new puppy. So when Grandma Buttons moves on, they have this puppy named Bagel to take her place.
Oh,
I It's really and the puppy is so cute with the old dog and, like, I don't know how I found this animal. I don't know why the fuck my whole heart is invested in how she's doing and that she's comfortable and peaceful, but I'm so happy for the family that they have, like, a new little puppy, so when Grandma Button's time is up, there's a new little creature to love and take care of. Anyways, that was my antidepressant, the
cute,
puppy named Bagel.
adorable.
Yep.
Um, this is a weird antidepressant. Maybe not weird. I don't want to judge it. It's not like point A to point B antidepressant. It's a point A to point G, and I'm traveling to point G. But I know that it's even though it's an uncomfortable hike, it is showing me things that I am, I guess, willing to look at. So my point is, my husband and my son went out of town for the weekend last weekend. I had been asked them to do that at the beginning of the winter of 2020, just because I just needed some time to like have my own thoughts and not be bogged down with the question of what's for dinner. Like if I wanted to eat cereal for dinner, it was going to be fine. I just wanted uninterrupted time with my own thoughts. And I adore my family. It's not that. I just, I didn't move in with my husband until I was 38. And I loved living alone. I loved it. And when I have time to myself in my house, I love it. And while they were gone, I was very stressed because I had that fear of lack come up immediately. Like, how much am I going to cram into this weekend? I did do a mountain of laundry and made me feel really good. But as you know, I was also very anxious. I texted you about how anxious I was.
Mhm.
So I noticed, I'm going to get real honest right now. It feels scary. So I noticed that when they were gone, I got my, cannabis vape pen out on Saturday night. I noticed that it wasn't even the getting high part. It was the act of like putting the mechanism in my mouth, inhaling and exhaling. And I hadn't really noticed it as much to the extent as I did this weekend, and I was like, "What? Oh, wow, wow." And I don't wanna smoke cigarettes, and I don't wanna get, like, a dummy vape pen. I want to sit with the discomfort of not doing it. Last night was hard. Oh, and also, when I had ketamine therapy last week, I definitely feel the psychedelic effects. I physically feel like I'm flying through space or an ocean or clouds, wherever. But I don't see anything anymore, and I don't see anything at home anymore. And I asked my doctor, I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "Cannabis." I was like, "Oh, fuck."
Oh, man.
So it's like it's hard for me because it is such a helpful tool for me. It's a helpful tool to turn my overactive hamster wheel brain off at the end of the day. It doesn't feel like an escape from my quote unquote problems. It feels like a tool so that the not even the anxiety, just like the constant chatter that comes with ADHD can just be like quieted. And I love it. But when it turns into like an oral fixation thing that I can't let go of, I want to see what that's about. And I told my husband, yeah, like I told you, like I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. And like I could have taken a gummy, which is yeah, because I noticed like when I first started using cannabis when it became legal, other than like when I would go on a girls' trip and, use cannabis then, but so when I could go buy it, like I started with CBD and then I started with cannabis and it was like every Friday and or Saturday night. Then it became every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it became like every night. And then I went and it was only gummies, strictly gummies. Never would have thought about smoking it or vaping it. And then I tried vaping it and you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for the gummy to kick in. And it gives me something to do, like just the act of the inhale and the exhale. Like, fuck, if cigarettes sounded good, I'd be in so much danger because it's truly a soothing and pleasurable action for me to take that you don't even notice. That's the part that feels good. It's not even the high part. Anyway, I've repeated myself a million times. So my antidepressant is that I'm looking at that part. I don't even notice a difference with like the quote unquote high feeling. Well, I do notice when my chatter doesn't go away, but what I really miss is holding it in my fucking fingers. So that is tripping me out and I'm doing it one day at a time. I am absolutely not claiming that I will pick up my vape pen at some point. I just want to see what it's like because I'm going to do an at-home ketamine dose, like either Friday or Saturday, because I need to maintain it because last time I went way too long without maintaining it at home between sessions with my doctor. I just want to see if maybe taking a little break changes it. And I am looking at dropping into being really mindful of like when that creepy, crawly, skin crawling obsession comes up between like starting at like 5, like my muscle memory is like, well, why aren't you sucking a fucking vape pen? Just take a little puff and then go make dinner. Because seriously, it helps me get through the rest of my day, until it's bedtime for my child and I can, just have a little bit more control over my life or just pay attention to my needs and wants. And so it's just interesting. I'm just observing and I'm trying to be loving about the observations and I'm trying to be present with not just like, I'm agitated, but like, okay, why are you agitated? Well, my brain doesn't want to shut off. Like, well, do you think you can hang in here? Like, why don't you have a glass of water or take some deep breaths or watch a funny show? I don't know, but it's just interesting. And I'm proud of
I mean,
myself for I'm proud of myself that it came up organically. I'm looking at it organically. It's causing concern about it organically. I talked about it with my therapist ad nauseum. Like it's out in the open. Like I'm not hiding this. It's just interesting. I never thought it was going to be about the actual act.
it's so relatable. Like that's when I smoked for like, I don't know, 10 years or something yet. But toward the end, I was not enjoying it anymore. And my therapist at the time asked me to just like notice when you go for a cigarette. And it was always like when I felt social anxiety. So I could get outside and leave a party.
Totally.
And it is exactly what you're saying. It's just taking deep breaths. That's it. So I could leave the party and take deep breaths instead.
Mm.
And it's, when I'm stressed out, like when I was studying a bunch or whatever, there were always these like emotional markers when I really wanted a cigarette. I wasn't like a have one after dinner type of girl. I would if other people did. But when I initiated smoking, it was because something was going on and it was a meditation for me. I went
Oh, God,
outside, I
yes.
stood still and I took deep breaths until the cigarette was gone. Like now there's, there's a nicotine problem and like a lung cancer risk and all that
Mm.
shit. So it's really just a matter of like, the deep breathing can have the same impact, but it's fucking way harder without like a little substance bump,
Mhm.
along the way. So
Mhm.
I admire your awareness
Thank
and
you.
like your willingness to just look at it. And again, nothing is forever. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
it's
yeah, I found cannabis to be a very helpful tool in my mid fucking 40s, you know? Like such a tool, such an incredible tool.
mhm.
Oh, but yeah, so it's just interesting.
I think
Mm,
it's amazing. I
thank
mean,
you.
truly, I think I love we're just on, same world, different planets. You're like really doing some like hard like self-assessment and growth work. And I'm like, there's a puppy on Instagram.
Excuse me, excuse
It's
me.
fine. It's an
No,
antidepressant still, but it does make me laugh.
no, You are constantly doing the hard work. Constantly. Margie, I've told you this to your face.
I know,
I'm
I
telling
know.
this to your virtual face right now. I've told you this in text messages. I absolutely want what you have. And what you have is an unyielding courage to constantly be looking at yourself. And I admire it implicitly and without beginning or end. Like
What choice do I have? If I
dude, I
don't, I
know.
wind up like Shannon,
Yeah.
I'm on that path. I could be a crazy drunk, anxiety-ridden monster. So,
I'm
um,
I'm happy for you that you find
yes,
so much joy and an antidepressant feeling from looking at uh,
grandma
grandma
buttons.
buttons or grandma
And
potato or yeah,
mhm,
like I love that. I'm
it's
happy
so
for
cute.
you that you get that
Me too,
relief,
me
honestly.
too.
So no, we are not comparing antidepressants and
No,
you
it
do
just made
this
me
on a
giggle.
daily basis and I have to be dragged kicking and screaming into this stuff sometimes. So, and we're not comparing. This is not a
No,
competition. I'm just
it's
saying like
not.
I refuse to allow you to.
No, and
Yeah,
honestly, both of our antidepressants, as you said, came from organic places. I don't know
exactly.
where I found this dog, but I've been following it for months now. You didn't set out in the month of August to decide what to do about vaping. It's just
No,
at a certain point, you became aware that it was, not doing what you want it to do.
because I had my own goddamn thoughts this weekend. I
Mhm.
had my own goddamn thoughts for 24, not quite 48 hours, you know? So
I
yes,
mean,
I had my own
for like
thoughts.
For a full-time mom, that seems like probably the most time, since labor that you've been able to just sit with your own thoughts.
Jesus, it's just really yeah, and I need it, and I feel guilty over the fact that I feel like I need it a lot. And I don't know if it's always gonna be like that, and I don't want anyone in my family to feel, like, offended or like that I don't love them. I don't know. I don't know. It just I don't know. I don't know what
I
it is.
mean, nobody can predict the future, but
Yeah,
for now, that
just
was an important
it was
weekend,
a very
and
important
it
weekend.
brought to light things that you wanna just consider looking at alternatives for.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So and did I watch any reality TV? I tried to catch up with Atlanta, couldn't. I tried to watch season 4 of Love Is Blind. It's the cast is just I've never seen such an abhorrent cast in my entire life. What the fuck else did I watch anything else reality TV wise? Oh, New York on Sunday night, and I love New York.
Mhm.
I just do. I love it.
It's great. I'm
Yeah,
into it now.
me
And I
too.
love that it's like the Christmas season.
Me
There's something
too.
about like
God, I love
that time of
it.
year in New York City that's like, I
Completely.
love watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my bucket list to go to New York for Christmas season one year. Yeah.
It really is beautiful.
Mhm. Mhm.
It can be a hard city, but like when there's a snowfall in that city, you know how like snowfall sort of like puts a mute on like all the
Yes.
sounds?
Yep.
There's something like really beautiful about that, in my opinion, in New York City. I love it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I watched Sister Wives, which is a show that my niece got me into during the pandemic, and the new season just started. And it's just divorce-orama, and it's really interesting to watch people. Some people are in therapy, some people are not, and it's interesting to watch them, move through uh, deciding what they want and proceeding in that direction, whether or not everyone else is happy about it. And it's ridiculous. It's, the husband at the center of it is just, he's like your ideal reality TV character. He's just a ridiculous human being. And then, oh, I didn't realize a new season of Alone had come out. Have we talked about that show? It's a
No.
show on the History Channel. It's like survivalists who get dropped into these like really difficult to live in spaces to stay for 100 days or as long as they
Oh my
can.
god.
Yeah, and I loved watching it during the pandemic because first of all, it's beautiful landscape and it's shot gorgeously, and but it's sort of like a mental health window into what isolation does to a person. So these are
Ah.
all survivalists, so they have no problem really living off the land, building a shelter, hunting, fishing, all that shit. But they start to come undone mentally. Like the isolation, the loneliness, no one to talk to, like it really you know, during the pandemic in my darkest days, I would tell people to watch that and I'd be like, that's my headspace. It's
No.
like so isolating and terrible. But now I just got to watch it for, it's just fascinating. The people who do this, the people who want to do this, the people who get a sense of joy and satisfaction out of experiencing nature in that like really raw way that like I can barely handle like one night of camping. Like it really is I am awed by people who
I am
can
too.
do that. I will not I have no survival instinct. If I'm not, like, cozy and comfortable, then I'm just gonna go to sleep and let my time come. I wouldn't be able to survive in, like, the winter, like, it's negative 60 degrees in a cabin I built. Fucking no way. It's
With
amazing.
no Wi-Fi? I mean, with
Nothing, not a
no,
book,
nope, nope,
no
nope,
nothing.
nope, my god, I would run
Just your
screaming from my
thoughts.
own thoughts. Fuck that shit hard.
Just your thoughts. Like the
Absolutely not.
most they're allowed to bring 10 items with them, and the most extravagant thing I've ever seen anyone bring is like a rock of Himalayan sea salt. And other than that, like, it's just sticks and axes and, like, yeah, it's just it's a fascinating show. So, I really enjoy seeing different parts of the world that I will never camp out in for 100 days. I get to watch other people do that on my TV.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Um, yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
College football starts this weekend,
I thought about
so
you when I
go
saw
blue. Yeah,
commercials. Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And the US Open is happening. It's like a this is I love this time of year in sports. Tennis in New York City, football in Michigan.
Yeah.
Delighted.
I don't I like the sound the ball makes when it hits the racket, and other than that, I'm not into it. I don't
That's
know.
totally fair.
It's so slow. People
It's
love it.
interesting. Well, the sport has like progressed so much. It's much faster now because people are full athletes, you
Totally.
know? They're just beasts on the court. Like their serves are like 120
That's
miles an hour.
insanity. Yeah, the
And then the
athleticism
other guy
is
returns it. Are you
yeah,
fucking kidding me? Like that stuff is just miraculous to me.
makes my knees hurt just looking at them running
I
from, like,
know. I
square to
know.
square, and it's just like, "Holy
I
shit."
know. All of the cutting is like, yeah,
Yeah.
their bodies are just completely destroyed.
I would like
There's,
to
I
play
don't,
it, though.
yeah, yeah,
I'd
me
love to
too.
learn
I'd
how
like
to
to play it like
play.
old lady style,
I just wanna
like just like,
volley. I don't wanna run. I just wanna
yeah,
fucking volley. Yeah.
just a nice little rhythm of getting a ball over the net back and
Exactly.
forth for a while.
Exactly.
But it's lovely to watch. Anyways,
Anyways,
a pleasure as always
as
to
always,
talk through everything that is wrong in Orange County and everything that is okay with us.
I swear this is, like, the best day of my week is when I get to see you and do this. Like, it truly is. It's just truly energizes me for, like, days and days and days. And then right
I
when I'm,
love
like,
it.
dragging ass, I'm like, "Oh, it's Orange County night. It's Wednesday. I get to talk to Margie in the morning." Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And thank God, because when I watched the show last night, I was like so agitated.
it was
And then I was like,
agitating.
oh, you get to talk to Ramona in the morning.
Mhm.
You can
Mhm. Mhm.
be able to let it all go.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well,
Well, everyone, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Please, if you'd like to, email us at atherapeuticdose@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at A Therapeutic Dose, at A Therapeutic Dose. Rate, review, subscribe. Send the link to your friends. Share the episode. Share the show.
spread the good word of mental health and reality
Yeah,
TV
yeah, it
being
can
a
be in a
worthwhile crossover.
exactly. It
Yeah.
can be a very irreverent, lighthearted way, accessible way of talking about a subject that some people just it can be a seemingly scary lake to dip your toe in, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're happy that you are on this journey with us right now. Journey, like on The Bachelor.
Uh, my God, the Golden Bachelor starts. There's so much going on.
Oh my God.
Um, well, everybody take good care of yourselves
Please.
this week, and we will reconvene next week for another therapeutic dose.
Yep. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Ramona and Margee are obviously not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.